It is 12:22. What day is today? Hold on. It's Friday. It's Friday today. I had a date. I had a date scheduled and I canceled it because I decided that this career of mine is more important right now. And so is my kid. So anyways, so I wrote today. That's what I did. And this is already too long. It's 24 seconds of wasted time. Whatever, I'm going to read it anyway. Let's see how I do. I might start this video over. I do that sometimes. Actually, I'm so hungry. I need to eat. I haven't eaten today. Like, I had one little protein shake, and that was 160 calories. That's not enough. I need to freaking eat. Whatever, I'm going to see if I can read this. Because I wrote it. Marriage. Finding happiness through divorce. So this dude on Plenty of Fish sent me this message. Gotta find happiness in yourself before you can be happy with someone else. And I wouldn't worry about your vag shriveling up. Ha ha ha. This, of course, is in response to something that I wrote, which I would add to the story, but then it would make it way, way, way too long, so whatever. I'm just gonna read. I read his message while my entire being screamed bullshit. I decided that I want to hit him in the face with a chair. Oh yeah, Mr. Wisdom Man, let me tell you what makes me happy. Capital I's make me happy. I mean, really, how much extra effort would it have taken to smack the cap lock with your pinky as you typed that little gem of advice? Couldn't you consider it a matter of personal pride? Or do you really think you're so fine that it's okay to look lazy? Or dare I say stupid? I do love myself. It's called masturbation and celibacy. As in, I'm perfectly self-sufficient, and I respect myself enough to wait for a capital I. I'm going to put a little cliff note in here. I want it to be a capital I. That should all be caps, like capital I. Like, that's a long I right there. My vagina is going to shrivel up. I'm bitter about it, too. I'm really bitter, and I'm really hungry. I never thought much about the term old maid until recently. I remember reading about women expiring like sour milk, but that was way back in the olden days, back before women were people. It's the 21st century, and we are a black man away from a woman president. They didn't burn witches in Salem. No, those were old maids wearing bras, and those bitches burned to ash so that we could be equal. Modern women do not expire. We shoot ourselves up with Botox and pump ourselves with saline inflatables, so we are good to go for years. I am still practically new at 36, active, fit, the total package, tied together by a beautiful smile. The kind of smile born from being happy lifelong. Age has done nothing more than bless me with the lines to prove my smile, and they start at my eyes with which twinkle in a most charming way, timelessly. Wait for it. Note the capitalization. Note it. The I is capitalized. Oh my goodness, I think I might be a fucking genius. I am happy enough that I don't want some guy fucking it up. I'm divorced for the very same reason. I decided that I want to be happy, and so now I am single. You make me sad, go away. That's exactly how a 15-year marriage ends. It's not me, it's you. Now get the fuck out. Oh, I'm so hungry. Marriages do not end without soul searching, and happiness was more than a consideration. I was miserable toward the end of my marriage, and he was glowing. He was radiant, to my worn-down haggard. Not at my expense, no. It bothered him to see me sad, but he was happy without me, within our relationship. There came a time that we were the pleasantries of coexist. He stopped worrying about me, or caring at all for that matter. He started doing all the things he loved, and I let him without an invitation to join, because when I did, his happy ended. And I didn't care to be the cause of it. I remember feeling like I was trying to insert myself into my own family, like my presence was a cancer. He seemed annoyed when I wanted to be included, and I felt like a nag if I didn't want him to go without me, until I let him. I let him go to his happy while asking myself hard questions. Most pressing, Would I want to be around the person that I am? His answer to that question was more than brutal. Amber, you are a miserable person. You suck the joy out of everything. I love you, but I am not in love with you. He told me to prepare myself for his leaving because he needed to. He promised to make sure that I was okay, that I would be taken care of, and that he would be there if I needed him. But he wanted out because my misery was holding his spirits. That was an unhappy day. It was also the day my life started over because I couldn't say I blamed him. He was right. I was miserable, and I hated myself for it because I remember myself shining. I was an amber-colored pearl, someone to be treasured. By the way, if I post a frickin' video, listen to it, because this song I used to listen to this song when I was working out back when I was a fat chick, because it ties into my life. So everything I post is relevant. If you care to know the whole story, then pay attention. That's what my dad would say. I didn't imagine my marriage was over that day. Ricardo Garibay had been leaving me for as long as I have known him, and he never went far. I believed that he loved me, but I was mad at him for it. I didn't like the person I had become, and I loathed the fact that he tolerated it vehemently. It made me sick that he stayed because he could do better where I wasn't even trying. I wasn't pissed at him. I was angry at myself because I didn't love him or anyone close to me properly. I couldn't. There was no me. The next part is the magic of my story because change was as simple as asking myself what I want to be without him. I had a conversation in my head. He wants you to imagine a life without him as a miserable person. Do you really want that life, Amber? Do you want to be miserable? Do you really need to be that identity? Is that your identity now? He imagines you miserable with him and miserable without. What would you look like in a different story, one that includes you happy? I started thinking about my life, and I realized that I have succeeded at everything I've ever wanted. I've never once failed. My success has been ferocious. The only anomaly have been the results and my contentment after. It was then that I realized I'm simply bored, and it was time to set new goals. I got a gym membership, started writing this book, the blog being the roughest draft and outline, and I hired a therapist to help me see myself outside of his blame. I highly recommend therapy for anyone entering rough waters, and I saw myself on that boat 15 years in. She suggested I eat pot brownies, shut down my business, and get a divorce. She said I was thinking like a poor man and that she would teach me wealth. I found out she died shortly after I took her advice and ran out of money to keep seeing her. She had a brain tumor the whole time, but she was right. I was cheating my own fortune and subsequent bliss. I started making lists and setting goals, new ones outside of the box I was in. There came a time when my husband could no longer bring me down, and that was the day I knew I was finally happy. He had been being mean to me for weeks, and I just let it roll because everything else was right. And when he realized it, he was devastated. "We need to talk," he said quietly, after a client had gone. "You're happy," he said, near shattered. I smiled, feeling exuberant. Yeah, I am. "But I'm not the reason for it. You're not happy because of me," he accused. "No, I'm not happy because of you. You've been a dick for a while now. My business is good. The blog is a hit. I have fans of my writing worldwide. Yeah, I'm happy." "Fans like the General?" He was unraveling. "Yes, fans like the General, Ricardo." I was obstinate. "You're in love with him, aren't you?" It's right about then that my new life, my new happiness, became the property of a man I had never spoken to or met. The General, a 55-year-old married soldier with 5 children, will be a chapter in my book. I think I will title it The Emotional Affair, which I personally think is an absolute bullshit concept. I'm an emotional slut. I'm a crybaby too. And I'm only guilty of 2 things: eating pot brownies and creating happiness through my new writing career. Finding happiness is as simple as knowing yourself and being true to it. It is also a journey that cannot always be up because we are tied to each other. My ex-husband fell apart the day he realized that he loved the person I had become, the happy person, and that he wasn't married to her. He was married to a miserable girl named Amber, and he had no idea how to get her back. She's not coming back. She's happy.